Live from Florida, welcome race fans, one and all, back to Green Flag TV, where this afternoon we are set for more racing action here at the Sebring International Raceway. It's the second to last round of the 2025 Classic Indycar Series season. My name is Ola Rebel alongside Gary Godso. We bring you all of racing action from start to finish here on this fantastic Sunday afternoon. It is set to be a warm day out here in Florida as, Gary, it's the last road course race of the season. The road course championship and the main championship both locked up by Tuomas Mustonen just 1 and 2 weeks ago right at the Auto Club Speedway. So this race here going to be more about bragging rights for the team's championship, as that is still yet to be decided, but it's looking pretty heavily in the favor of Team Watson Racing setups today.
Yeah, with the way that the season's been, the Polo-like dominance of Tuomas, congrats to him, and it's going to take the weekend off. But it's got to feel like the Battle of New Orleans for Team Watson Racing. It's this treaty's been signed and everything, but you want a battle after the fact kind of thing, and that's kind of what it's looking like for them. But, that's good momentum going into the next calendar year. They could build upon that and think back, hey, we had enough guys finish well enough to earn enough in the points championship for the teams. Can we just improve a little bit more next go around and maybe challenge for that drivers championship? So there's a lot to build off of by winning that team's championship, which they look to lock up today.
Take a look over the Sebring International Raceway, of course, utilizing that modified layout on the racetrack, right? So we are not using the full 12-hour circuit. We're going to be cutting into that little dogleg there right on the exit of turn number 1, as you can actually, in fact, see several drivers making their way on in there right now, including Robert Groscher, who, in fact, just spears off-road just a little bit. That little crossover could be an awkward point for drivers this afternoon. It's the first major braking zone on the racetrack, a hard braking zone, and then, of course, down to the far end of the racetrack, the normally sweeping Sunset Bend is arced into a tight, hard braking zone at a hairpin, making it for an even better braking zone headed all the way down the Ullman Straight. 103 degrees Fahrenheit down to the racetrack with 7 miles of wind blowing off to the north. Not a lot of wind, but that track temperature is nothing to shrug off.
Will not help, but just hurt on the life of the tires. There will be a little bit more degradation out there, but you're right. This is the what it's called in iRacing as the modified course. If you go online and look at it, it's called the school course. It's right at 2 miles in length. IndyCars have never utilized this portion for their spring training. They use the larger, what I call the upper course. This is the lower course, the upper course, and that's where they typically have done their spring training. So this is more of a club course type of thing, where you wouldn't see cars nearly this big and powerful on. But we're going to be throwing it around here on the club course, and they have run some official races here in the past. In fact, the track record, which we are about 10 seconds faster than right now, is set by David Hobbs way back in 1960, I believe. So we're kind of blazing new ground here with these cars on this course in iRacing.
Of course, this track serving as a replacement for the St. Petersburg Street Circuit, which, while it has been licensed, it has not been scanned yet and put into the iRacing service, although one day soon to come. Of course, the similarities pretty much end of those two tracks on, hey, this track races on an old airfield, right? So that's why we're racing here today. The last time Classic Indycar Series was out here was all the way back in 2022. So it's been a good number of years since we've seen CIS out here. But with lap times under a minute, this 100-lap race is going to go by quick.
And being that also, if we don't really see a lot of cautions on road courses either. Don't go anywhere. This race might be over in a flash, but yeah, we're looking at lap times right now. Ethan Hagen currently fastest in this warm-up with the 56.1. So they're moving around this place. It's only, again, 9 turns, 2 pretty long straightaways, sweeping turn 1, a passing zone in turn 2, and a passing zone going into turn 8. So there are opportunities out there to pick up some spots.
Qualifying and the warm-up session going to draw to a close. It's time to take a rundown of who's going to start where for this 100-lap race this afternoon. It's Ethan Hagen started on pole position with a 55.167 for Team Watson Racing. looking to wave the torch with the driver set to take the team's championship at the end of the night. Marshall Standard for Vortex Sim Racing starts to his outside on row number 1. Row 2, it's TWRS driver Logan Simmons alongside Powerslide Team Chimera contender Andrew Wood, the Catalyst, starting down at the 4th place spot. VJL for Iconic Motorsports, the lone driver for that team this afternoon, starting in 5th, alongside Vortex Sim Racing contender Robert Rocher. Row 4 on the grid, it's going to be North Sim Racing's Andrea Giacometti, not having the best of runs the last couple weeks. He had a rough outing at Auto Club Speedway, looking for more this afternoon. Cameron Dance's championship hopes ended with a violent crash into the catch fence 2 weeks ago at the Auto Club Speedway. The Orbit Drop Bear Motorsports just contended for 2nd place at the championship as of right now. Johnny Garrett, an independent driver, going to be down in the 9th place spot alongside Sebastian Kinder for TWRS down in 10th.
We're moving out now, and it's Santos and Hoffman on row 6. Aiken and Stumi in row 7. Wilson and Marcamini in row 8. Then we got Barkanow, Wareham, and Mellis, although I'm not sure if Mellis and Wareham are actually in the sim right now, but they are classified in the last 2 spots, and that is your field here, getting ready to take green next time by.
Well, the pack effectively set to rumble out here this afternoon on what is bound to be a good race here this afternoon. Now, Tomas Musadin not present this afternoon. The new defending champion, going to be taking the night off here this afternoon. Hey, may as well, right? You've locked up the championship, so not under too much pressure to show up here this afternoon, especially since Iconic Motorsports looking like it's not going to be contending for a team's championship as well, with an over 100-point gap between them. So, things said and done, I think Ethan Aiken could be a shoo-in to win this one now that Musin is not around. But hey, it's going to be a close fight to one.
I think everybody now with Thomas not around, they think they got a shot at this. So I fully expect them to battle this out going into turn 1 to try to get that early lead and the pull away. But good luck to everybody. I hope they keep it clean. This is a bit of a different course you don't see very often. And that could present some curveballs later in this race, provided that they didn't get enough practice in. So here we go, coming down this long backstretch and now into a kind of the modified Sunset Bend turn 8 area, which we think it's actually been slimmed down a little bit to create more of a passing zone.
Well, the pace car going to pull down to the pit road this time by, and once again, we're happy you joined us for racing action here on this fantastic Sunday afternoon. The final road course season, 100 laps set to kick off here this afternoon from the Sunshine State. Time to get the party started. It's go, go, go in Florida! And a good getaway from Ethan Aiken as he hightails it down in towards turn number 1 for the first time this afternoon. Some drivers looking for 3 wide deeper in the field, but everyone else going to be funneling this one out single file in towards turn number 2 this afternoon.
Here's the part of the race course that connects the front and the back. The little connector here. And now they're on the, what I would have, really if this is the Sebring course, I would have called this the back side of the course. The lower portion of the course.
Firing their way up and around here towards the what is normally dubbed the Sunset Bend, but ducking right past the usual turn point that of course we see endurance cars taking. Ethan Aiken diving in. He's going to lead the way at the end of lap number 1 here this afternoon, side by side for a few spots further down the field through the hairpin. But overall, no drivers making too many big lunges, and I think that's one of the cleanest open laps we've seen all season long.
The parts of the track that they're using, right, except right here, this is where it kind of funnels down as we see cars going off into the dirt. There's a lot of room here at Sebring, and that's another reason why a lot of those IMSA races that we see go on here are very entertaining, because there's a ton of room. And with these open wheelers, you don't want to make wheel-to-wheel contact. That is bad. So they're able to spread out a little bit more and give the drivers that they're racing a little bit more room, and they're not one on top of one another.
Oh, hold on, no! And Sebastian Kinder, Cameron Dance gets into the back of Robert Groscher. Groscher got unsettled on the curbing there, coming out of Le Mans and onto the Omen Straight, and that's gonna send Groscher into the grass, able to keep it off of the wall, thank goodness, but a lot of spots dropping to the field, and Jan Hoffman has got big damage. He is missing the nose cone on the front wing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to him there, but he's going to have to enter pit road and get that taken care of. Egan goes purple that time by 56.1.
Just just lost it on the curbing there, Le Mans for Hoffman, and that's what spun him into the wall, a self-inflicted error.
I hate doing that so early after kind of an extended practice session. I didn't think they meant to do that, but they did get an extra hour of practice, or it seems like an extra hour of practice. And so, yeah, you don't want to put that all extra work in and then have it go away early in the race. So, unfortunately, day is going to be a little bit more rough for Jan. But back up front, it is Hagan, Stanley, and Simmons, your top three.
And on board here with Jamie Wilson as he makes his way coming down the straightaway up and around Andrea Giacometti. You were right on board with the left side pod as Jamie Wilson made that move, and that was to put himself up and into the top 10. Also got Cameron Dance starting to pile on the pressure to Andrew Wood. Egan to recess the purple lap and Dance to the inside of turn 1, and he's through for 5th.
Nice pass. Very nice pass. Oh, look at him bounce off these curbs. I think the road is crowned, or the camber of the road in that connector area is a little odd. You can see these cars kind of go through there bouncing off of 2 wheels. So I think it cambered a little weird through there for these cars.
And out of pit road comes Vortex Series contender Jan Hoffman here as Hoffman makes his way back out on to the racetrack after getting the fresh nose going on the car. 1 lap down, yes, but hoping he can score some points here because you know he is not going to be the only driver had to count his problems here this afternoon. Speaking of which, Rob Barnikel right in front of him into the tire wall. There you go. Oh, that car is stuck as well. Got the rear wing wedge into the tires, and that was all she wrote for Barnikel.
Just a hard off that. See, what he's trying to do is get on that gas as early as possible because that's a nice stretch from straightaway there. Get a good run, and it just lights the back up of these, lights the rears up on the back of these cars, and whoops, into the inside wall there.
Well, he didn't get into the wall initially, and then he reverses in, and that wedges the rear wing in there, and he can't get himself freed.
All that trying to be a good racing etiquette and getting out of everyone's way. Sometimes it doesn't pay to be a nice guy.
No, sir, it does not. As we ride on board here with Cameron Dance, who's actually going to look to lift out here from going on to a move on VJO up in front. So Cameron Dance is playing this race very, very safe. He does not want to take unnecessary risks early on.
Don't forget, I mean, there's still battles in the points championship that still exist. Even though Thomas is done and he's clinched the championship, it's still free game for positions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down through the top 10. So every lap and every position still matters for a number of these drivers.
Yeah, I mean, those spots, you mentioned them mattering oh so much. I mean, Cameron Dance still has to contend with some spots further down the field as well that he's got to be a little bit worried about with all of the trouble that he had at the Auto Club Speedway a few weeks ago. Of course, he is fighting with Ethan Hagan for the second place in the points. Don't forget, he lost the second place there. Oh, hold on. Off the road goes VJO. Overshot the corner, and through goes Andrew Wood as well. Now all of a sudden, Dance is going to worry about defense.
Yeah, only 19 points separate Dance and Ethan in the points. So Dance knows that if he's been in second spot pretty much the entire year. And or entire season, let's put it that way. It is about a year-long calendar that they have here, but he definitely, right now, I mean, the best position available is best in class, which is second spot, because Thomas has been in a kind of a class all by himself for the better part of a year now.
Right on board with the helmet camera of Johnny Garrett as he is within half a second of VJO in front of him. Of course, Johnny Garrett right now in 7th place. He is up 2 spots from where he started his race tonight. He's going to go for a massive launch down the inside of VJO. That was never going to work, and VJO saw it coming in. He was lucky enough to break it.
There's a car on the exit.
And that's Logan Simmons.
9.
Simmons into the wall hard, and that is going to be day over for him. What the heck happened to Simmons coming off of Sunset Bend? There was a lot of discussions about a nasty, nasty bump on the exit of the final corner, Gary. I wonder if that's what's caught him out.
let's check it out here. I don't know if he hit the bump, but it looks like he was back hard on the gas and lit the back ends up.
Yeah, it was the bump. You saw the car pitch in, and right on board. And you'll notice this instantaneously the second he hits that bump here. Right there. You saw the axles dip in a little bit, and it pitches the car around. That's a big hazard, even in road course races too, right? I mean, how many, especially in the GTPs, right? How many GTPs and LB2s have we seen careen into the outside tire walls from making that same mistake at a much higher speed?
Yeah, and the reason why is these open wheelers aren't too much different than those prototypes, and the way that they just really have a different shell on them, so to speak, right? So a lot of the suspensions are pretty much the same, very stiffly sprung, and little bumps like that will unload the back end and lose traction, and then cause you to kind of do that snap oversteer, which we saw there.
Well, the field going to take back to the Ullman Straight. Robert Groscher looking like he wants to go on the move here as he is starting to hound the back of Lucas Santos back here for the 7th place spot. And could we see a potential overtake attempt? There goes Robert Groscher looking to the inside. He's going to try to go for it down the inside at Sunset Bend, but he locks up, goes in hot. Here comes Lucas Santos trying to get the crossover as they fire out at turn number 6 or so. Down the front straight and back to turn number 1, and I think Robert Groscher might have this one well in hand. Unless Santos goes for an effort. He's biting back here to turn 1, and he's back through.
Side-by-side, then it funnels down. It goes from about 3-4 wide car to 2 wide right off the bat there.
Good effort from Lucas Santos.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Tell you what, he really tried, didn't he? He was trying his best there to go back after him, but it just wasn't happening. Jan Hoffman has had a problem at the tail of the field. Already 1 lap down after coming down pit road. Take a ride on board here. This is coming up to Le Mans. And lost it again on the exit. Spins off the road and just grazes the K-rails, but he's able to just barely keep that car from maintaining any serious damage.
Just dropping those rear wheels off into the dirt. That's losing grip, and that will cause snap oversteer as well.
Johnny Garrett, meanwhile, hounding the back end of VJO. The battle for 5th very much on right now as these guys are still putting on quite the show here, aren't they? Robert Groscher just behind. Want to see if he can throw his hat into the ring for this fight. But for the time being, VJO a cork in the bottle for the top 5.
So we are expecting at least 2 stops, 3 stints. So basically 33, 33, and a 34 to get home, or at least 134 lap sprint, or stint, excuse me.
Yeah, right now those stints not going to be coming on up for a little while yet, so still got some time before pit strategy comes into play. But it's a bit wild to think, right? We're already on lap 12 of this race, over 10% of the way through. I mean, this race is going to absolutely fly by us at such a high-speed racetrack.
And it's a little bit like Long Beach. Long Beach is right about 2 miles as well, and the lap times are very quick there. So if a very similar style of pace that you have for this track to compare it to would be Long Beach. But here's a run. Santos on Groscher coming into 8.
Gonna get the drive on him down the inside at the corner. Robert Groscher trying to fight this one the long way around. He'll have to try to go for an over-under instead. The Screeching Moose Motorsports number 19 having a solid run so far today as Santos clears into the 7th place spot, and the battles between the Canadian and the German will continue. Oh, sorry, Santos is an American, but he's running with the Canadian team. My apologies. Yeah. Meanwhile, Johnny Garrett, VJO, just up the road as well, starting to have a fight. And how long do you think it's going to be before Santos and Groscher make up enough ground here that they're right on the tail of this battle and they make it a 4-way fight for 5th?
They need to work with one another. They're racing each other kind of hard, but they are, Santos is kind of creeping in on Garrett. And And that might be a 3-car battle here very shortly. And then we got this battle between Dance and Wood, and that's very entertaining too. Those are two guys that have, one guy has a ton of starts in this car, and another guy's a former series champion.
Oh, Cameron Dance just went off the road in front of him. I was wondering why the position swapped so quickly. Dance speared off the road at Le Mans. That allowed Andrew Wood to fight right by him down the Omen Straight. So that allows Andrew Wood to get onto the podium here. Cameron Dance still hot on his heels behind. We'll look to try and challenge back. This battle right now about 1.6 seconds up from Santos, Groscher, Garrett, and VJO. So there's not a lot of time separating third through eighth right now. Only about 3 seconds total between the group.
Not a lot of close battles. Really the train that we're seeing here with Garrett and Santos and Groscher, that's the entertaining VJO leading it. So 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's the entertaining group right there. Although Dan sends it to the inside of Wood. Into one.
He's going to back out, but geez, that got a little bit close there.
That connector road is pretty narrow there. There's not a lot of runoff area. So you can dip a tire there real easily. And it's already, we see the cars not very stable through there.
Cameron Dance, Andrew Wood going to maintain this battle. And critically, this fight between the two is allowing VGO to close in. That gap now down to just 1.1 seconds between the groups. So VJO is very close to getting involved in this grudge match as well. And critically, he's bringing Johnny Garrett, Lucas Santos, and Robert Groscher with him. Santos is broken clear of the fight from Groscher, and he's now looking to pressure Johnny Garrett.
Opportunities to earn points are getting fewer and fewer now with only 2 races left here in Indianapolis. So cash in while you can.
Hard on the binders for Santos. He's right on board with him. And again, this really does a good job of showing just how tight this track is in these twistier sections before they hit the open straightaway of Le Mans. And they're able to get that big blast on the stretch. A bit of a twitch there as well for Santos, able to catch it as he fires out of Le Mans and down the Omen Straight. 1-lap car on the right-hand side going to slow and let the group through. I believe that is Jan Hoffman not wanting to interfere with the battles with lead lap cars. Here goes Johnny Garrett looking to attack VJO into Sunset Bend, but he's not close enough.
Santos thinking about it. He's showing the nose.
And Jan Hoffman given a black flag for speeding on pit road, and that is because he has come down. Oh, hold on, here we go. Santos, a big move to the inside. Oh,
and Groscher's trying to come with him.
That was a dicey move from Santos. Talk about a gamble. It paid off this time, but I wouldn't be wanting to make that bet more than once. It's clearly rattled Johnny Garrett's cage because he's lost all pace.
Yeah, he had to kind of do a pump fake and a double check there, like what? And then now get his composure back. Maybe we'll see Santos pull away a little bit and try to run down VJO now.
Take a look at this one again as Ethan Hagen resets fast lap of the race. I mean, look at how tight that gets coming down the stretch into turn 2 and just barely forced it. I mean, that is not a realistic pass opportunity. As now Andrew Wood steals the fastest lap away, but man, what a battle there. But again, Jan Hoffman retiring the car. That's why he was speeding down pit road, is because he has no intention of serving that penalty. He pulled that car straight to the garage.
Got 4 now, either retired or in the garage. 17 started, 13 still running.
Got that battle for third place in Cameron Dance and Andrew Wood still hot as well. Hold on, Andrew Wood. Vicious snap sideways coming out of Sunset Bend and just able to pull that car underneath him. A great save once again.
It just shows you how hard these cars are to handle under low gear acceleration on some of these turns. I'm trying to get to use the right words here, but yeah, remember the low end torque of these cars make the wheel spin very easily, and a little too hard on the power in a kind of a low gear corner first specifically, could be even second. That will light the back ends up if you get on it too hard.
Well, Lucas Santos right behind, half a second up to Robert Groscher. Still trying to make a move. Ethan Hagen stealing back, fast lap of the race. This is quite a battle that Hagen and Andrew Woodall have between fastest lap on his rider. They are just getting faster and faster. Now Cameron Dance, fastest lap of the race at a 55.8.
Now this is interesting, the way that the fast lap keeps getting reset. Normally in IndyCar, the fast lap is set very early in a stint, and you don't see it reset over and over again. And we've seen it reset over and over again. It kind of reminds me of like a Lotus 79 race, where as the tanks get lighter and the tires improve, the speeds come down. But the Lotus 79 tires are like hockey pucks compared to what these Indy cars have. So it's very interesting how these times keep creeping down here. It shows that these guys, maybe the tire deg is not as bad as we thought it might be.
Well, it also shows that drivers are pushing really hard right now, right? I mean, no one is out here saving their equipment. It is just go, go, go. I mean, it's a nonstop fist fight out there on the racetrack. We've got this battle between, Garrett, Groscher, Sanders, and more. This has been present since lap 1. They have been unable to break away from each other, and we're a fifth of the way through this race. Speaking of fights, got another fight actually started to develop here. Andrea Giacometti and Jamie Wilson started to get close in the battle for ninth.
Andrea did not have the best race. Oh yeah, a little out wide there, down 3 spots. Jamie's up 6, and he's your biggest gainer at the moment, so he's the man on the move. Problem is, he has such a big gap up to Lucas Santos. It's like 9 seconds. So, and Hagen again goes purple lap. So reset.
Yeah, right now, Ethan Hagen definitely the driver to beat out there. 4 seconds clear of Marshall Stanley. Lucas Santos, fastest lap of the race from 8th place. I think this is the first time he's held that.
Screenshot that one.
And that's in the middle of dirty air as well, which again, it shows a lot of drivers are pushing right now. No one is saving their equipment. Well, the fight for ninth continuing on here with Andrea Giacometti struggling to close up to the back of Jamie Wilson. Not showing a lot of give here from either driver. It's a gap that is very much ebbing and flowing. Giacometti just can't punch through that dirty air bubble to get to the back end.
There. Oh, I thought for a second he was going to end up in the back of Jamie there. He was so close. Santos again resets that purple lap. All right, here comes Giacometti. He's going to take a peek on the outside. Is he going to try to cross over here? No.
He lifts out. Interesting. So not feeling confident going for an overtake there down to the turn 1. By the way, Lucas Santos actually losing 2 spots a few laps ago. He's dropped back to 8th. He was up to 6th. So this is why we see Santos all the way down the order now, and looking like he got unsettled over that bump, and that let Johnny Garrett and Robert Groscher just storm by him.
The best thing he can do is just get back in line and try to regroup.
Oh, and Johnny Garrett's just been taken out by Robert Groscher. Johnny Garrett spins it coming into the sunset band. Free spot for Santos as he manages to avoid. And Johnny Garrett, I think, got cleaned out by Groscher there.
Cameron Dance goes purple there too. I think there was a little bit of net code contact.
Oh, there. No, Santos is around. loops the back end at turn 1, keeps it off the wall, and he'll be able to reset, but pushed a little bit too hard there in turn 1. He's down to 8th again.
And there's some bumps at the very bottom of turn 1 too that also disrupt the car. This is by no means a smooth racetrack.
Take a ride on board here with Robert Groscher as he was close to the back of Johnny Garrett, lunged to the inside, and I don't even think there was that code. I think he just locked the rears.
Either that or just awful net code.
And then on board with Santos as he was chasing Robert Groscher, and car was weaving left and right as he was struggling to try to find momentum, and unfortunately, yeah, just clipped some of those bumps. Took too shallow of a line, and around he goes. Good news is he did keep it off of the outside wall. As Ian Hoffman's car is now allowing the Vortex Series and Pickers to have a barbecue down in the pits, but he kept it off the outside wall, right? And critically, when you're going that fast in turn 1, that is not an easy feat to keep that car from going backwards into a wall, as any GTP driver will tell you.
So up front, it's kind of turning into a race that we've seen on road courses all season long, except Ethan playing the role of Thomas Mustonen, as he is pulling away now by almost 5 seconds.
Right there, the gap between first and second place. Marshall Stanley 4.6 seconds back, trying to see if he's got an answer for him, but so far he has had effectively nothing. All those spins just a little while ago, that effectively eliminates most of the battles we had on the racetrack. So a lot of drivers now more running single file by themselves, just trying to gather their stuff up. This does mean that Andrea Giacometti, now one of the closest fighters on the racetrack for North Sim Racing with Jamie Wilson.
Six-tenths. The closest battle is 6/10 on the racetrack. And there it is right there. That's what 6/10 looks like physically.
And again, you hear Giacometti kind of lifting out of the throttle mid-corner there. I don't think Giacometti's feeling too confident on the gas right now with those Firestones, so he might be looking to come down pit road here as soon as that pit window opens to see if he can maybe make a change. Oh, and again, another big twitch there, right? And I think that's part of what's leading to these confidence issues that he's got in that car.
And we are getting close to the first round of pit stops opening up. The window to get home opens here, or the start to get home, either at lap 33 or 34.
That would, of course, be on the two-stopper for pit strategies, as field window is anticipated to be around 33, 36 laps, give or take. So we are less than 10 laps away now from seeing everybody coming down pit road. VJO is also starting to reel in the pace as well. He has caught Andrew Wood. That gap also hovering at around half a second right now. So it's, again, the issue of, it's such a struggle to get through the dirty air of the car in front. But once you get through it, you can close up to the back pretty quickly on the road course.
This one, too, specifically with these two really long straights right before turn 1, and then, of course, at the end of the Ullman straight on the old backstretch here. So if you could keep it close, you got two real good draft opportunities to close the door, to close the gap.
And the problem is this middle section right here is the one that's going to really kill a lot of big draft fights. It's hard to stay close through that, the twisty bits from Bishop all the way down to Le Mans. No easy feat, but again, if you can stay close, you can manage to get a run. But again, that run into Le Mans, such a critical one. If VJO didn't end up getting it, it's not until about here that he actually started to close in to get the draft, because he spent that much time just getting back up to speed. Cameron Dance again resetting fastest lap of the race, up in third place as
5, 6. Oh, here comes Giacometti to the inside. He's presenting the nose, but he wasn't able to get alongside.
Yeah, not quite alongside yet. But he'll keep the fight going. He knows there's more of an opportunity still coming up the road here, so Giacometti, not a driver that is about to be deterred. I mean, he's a driver that likes to stick it for the long haul. We saw even after he crashed at the Auto Club Speedway. He came back out, right? He turned some laps afterwards. He ended up retiring before the end of the race, but he came out, saw what the car could do, wanted to see if maybe he could come out and score some points. So he's not going to let just being caught in dirty air deter him just yet.
And there's still a long race to go. I mean, we're just now getting through the first third of the race.
And at the same time, it's almost hard to believe that 30 laps has already come and gone, right? I mean, I mean, hey, that's what happens though when you're turning laps of under a minute around this place. They fly by much quicker than you would normally anticipate of a road course. VJO a bit too far out wide there out of Bishop Bend at turn 3, and that is going to cost him dearly up in the fight for fourth place.
Very liberal runoff areas of that portion of the racetrack. This is turns 5, 6, and 7 area.
Gosh, it's such a pronounced bump.
Yes.
Coming down through there. I mean, even like that camera shot there really, I think, puts a lot of emphasis on it. And even down the front straight, we can see all the bumps and oscillations that drivers are fighting with all the way up and around. And, speak of the devil, Lucas Santos going around again. He's going to be dropped down to the 10th place spot now. And are we willing to bet that it was the bumps again?
Probably. Let's take a look at it.
Let's take a look. Watch as he fires. No! Picked up the throttle too aggressively, and he's going to loop it around. But I want to focus up on the cars right behind him here. Because watch this. You're going to see the bump right there. Look at how sharp of a hit that is. I mean, it's no wonder why a car's going to settle going over there, right? I mean, it's a miracle they're not doing it more often. Well, VJO continuing to close in here on Andrew Wood. He has punched through the dirty air. He got right to the gearbox within a quarter of a second that time by, coming around through turns 2 and 3. But again, a big tank slapper on the exit of 3 is going to cost him all of that momentum that he once had.
Because this track is so fast and so short, your opportunities to pull away are so few because you have to use your ability to, but one little mistake and that just costs you everything you just earned on the racetrack. So, and it's just basically the nature of this course. This configuration, 2 very long straightaways in a technical area that's not very big. Cameron Dance, purple lap.
55.6, I believe that is actually the first 0.6 we've had all race. It's the first 55.6 lap that we've had all race long. He is now within 1.7 seconds of Marshall Stanley. So Cameron Dance wants to go. He wants to close this gap to the 25 because he's trying to prevent Ethan Akin from being able to walk away with the championship, at least for a second place.
Kind of give everyone while we got time here, as Ethan is leading or second in points, so basically he's best in class right now. Remember, Thomas is clinched, he's not here, so let's just kind of pretend like he doesn't exist. So really Ethan has himself a 19-point lead over Cameron Dance, and then only 2 points back is Andrew Wood. 45 points back is Logan Simmons, who's already out today. Seb Kinder is 9 back from Logan Simmons, and he's already out today. And Jamie Wilson is actually tied with Seb Kinder in 6th. So Jamie is now looking to benefit from the bad days of those drivers ahead of him to maybe move up on it into 6th place by himself and maybe even into P5.
Haven't talked about Matthias Marcamini much today. The number 77 up 6. He's been quiet picking up spots. He's up 6 spots, right? He's been running a very quiet race so far, though. Hasn't really been on the radar much. Well, he's on it now because Lucas Santos, after that spin coming out of the Sunset Bend, really pounding the pressure. Mark off the racetrack for a moment there. He's going to get it back on, but you can tell, Matthias Ezekiel Markamini struggling to keep up pace to fight back the 19.
And pit windows to get to the end now here are open.
Well, to the next stint at least.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. You're looking at, with 100-lap races, you basically going to do 33, 33, 34.
Yes,
yes. So it's either lap 33 or lap 34. But, yeah, the first of your pit stops to kind of make them equal is open now. That's right. Sorry. Oversimplified for everybody. And here comes Stumi to pit road.
And Franz Josef Stum, you see him right behind making the trip into pit road. So, first car in then is going to be the driver of this number 34 R13. You see him just down there in the box. Should be a relatively quick stop, not anticipating longer than 8-9 seconds tops.
And I believe they have just enough tires really to do two changes and an extra set, I think. That's kind of what it boiled down to.
Yes, 3 tire changes at the pit, so you get the 2 that you need for pit stops plus 1 more if you want it. They're picking up the fight here for the last spot inside the top 10 as Santos not letting Markamini go. But remember the last few times that's happened to Santos when he's gotten really close to the back of another car, he's stepped the back end out by a mistake that's nothing but his own doing. So he's got to be careful that he doesn't make it 3 for 3 here. Race leader is coming down pit road.
I got to watch those self-inflicted wounds. But, everybody, a lot of cars down pit road. Also on pit road, Marshall Stanley, who's been in second place and very quiet. And also on pit road is Cameron Dance.
There is Dance in the box. Race leader going to be out with about 11.7 seconds. Here comes VJO into his box. Smooth entry for him. And looking like relatively unchallenged for Ethan Hagan out of pit road. Although, do my eyes deceive me? They do. It's Jamie Wilson that's at 1.6 seconds behind him who hasn't come down pit road yet. And here is the battle for what is right now 9th place, but will cycle through to be 10th. Still ongoing, but we're expecting to see both of these guys effectively down pit road anytime now. Here comes Robert Groscher and more into the box.
Drew Wood, pit road. Groscher, pit road. Garrett, pit road. Jamie Wilson has not stopped yet. Giacometti has not stopped yet. Markamini has not stopped yet. And Santos has not stopped yet.
Jimmy Wilson is in pit road this time by, so is Andrea Giacometti. And Markamini and Santos both attacking pit road as well on the way in. And we'll ride aboard to Santos through the pit stop. Want to see if he can maybe reel in any time to Matthias Ezekiel Markamini just up the road. I mean, when you get to a road course, right, pit stops can tend to be a good place to try to jump your opponent, but you got to be really willing to push the fold on entry and exit. So Markamini is further down the field right now.
Wood with cold tires is having a bit of an issue getting through the connector there, but he's through it.
Oh dear. And there goes Markamini. So Santos, very slow stop, 15 seconds in the box. We'll look at Woods into the moment. Here comes VJO also attacking Robert Groscher, trying to make that look over to the left-hand side of the racetrack.
Robert's going to make him try to pass on the long ways around. Robert defensive, and that's why, because Robert has a better angle off the corner, and he defends. That's what he did. That's why he did it.
No attack being made down into turn number 1 this time by. Real quick, let's look at what happened here to Andrew Wood. This is out of pit road. And this will be coming into, like you say, that connector to the other side of the racetrack. Ooh, boy. Just a bit of a slide. No harm, no foul. Lucas Santos has dropped all the way back to 12, and Andrew Aiken fighting with him now for the number 11 spot. Now, I'm curious here, because Santos has stopped 4 seconds slower, really, than just about everybody else in the field. What would contribute to him having such a slow stop? Because, I mean, he didn't have damage.
15 seconds. He was in there. Yeah, it's possible. Maybe he did have some front wing damage and they needed to replace the wing. We couldn't see it. Possible. Throwing out speculation there.
Santos makes the move to try to pass back Andrew Aiken. He's got one lap pressure tires there. And remember, Lucas Santos has been in front of Andrew Aiken really much of this race, so I'm not surprised that we see Santos taking the fight to the 27, and Santos makes a pretty easy overtake there in the Sunset Bend, and Andrew Aiken didn't fight that one too hard, says, all right, you can have it. And now up to VJO, still seeking to get around Robert Groscher.
Yeah, these two have been slugging it out. Very entertaining battle right now.
Oh,
ooh,
careful though.
Big twitch. Big twitch.
Yeah, dipped 2 wheels into the grass on the left-hand side, and that happened the second he touched the brakes, and back end nearly swung around. That could have easily taken out both contenders. So VJO continuing to pick up the fight here. He's got Groscher just up the road. Although it looks like, again, the problem always is in this middle section. We're trying to stay close through the twisty bits and maintain that momentum. He's got a bit of a run, but Groscher's also got a sniff of traffic Mitchell Wood up the road, which is not making this easier for VJO to close in.
Yeah, and they're not in that technical portion of the racetrack very long. So you need to keep yourself by time. That's what you need to do, and keep yourself close so you can get a run going down one of these straights.
Heading down the front, and this battle going to remain a hotly contested one. Coming up for the month of November, this is of course the final points paying race before the Indianapolis 500, as it's going to be Pole Day. The next event up, we'll be covering the last 2 hours of Pole Day. That will be on November the 9th. Bump Day the week after on November 16th to qualify drivers in from 26th on back. And then, of course, November 23rd. I think the 7th running of the butt kicker Indianapolis 500. Last year's Indy 500 in the month of November was a true spectacle to behold, right? I mean, we had crashes on pole day, drama on bump day. The Fast 9 shootout saw the speed record for the league reset 3 separate times. And on top of that, it was a dramatic Indy 500, quite a few cautions. I think there was a total of 10 or 11 cautions during the Indy 500. One car, it was actually Franz Josef Sturm, that went flipping down the front straightaway and over the pit wall into pit road. And we capped off the afternoon with a 3-wide photo finish with the driver that held the brand new speed record for Indy 500 qualifying, taking the win by about a quarter of a tenth of a second. It was a weekend that you could not have scripted if you tried, and well, the fight this season not bound to be any smaller, as VJO might try
inside
to go
this time on Robert.
And Robert's going to go wide. But is able to use the momentum.
Nice defense. Nice defense.
Yeah. But I tell you what, I'm looking forward to Indy 500 month, right? I mean, there's something that's just special about it.
So, for the folks watching at home, of course, the Classic IndyCar Series has been around for 10 years now. There's other IndyCar leagues out. This is the only league that specializes in the IR05 or the IR09 Legacy Dallara IndyCar on the iRacing service. This is also open setup. There's really no other leagues that use this car out there. And this is, just about the other leagues that are out there that primarily use like the DW12, or there's only one of those that I can think of, but most everyone else uses the IR13, which is the current iteration of the Indycar. If you were to go flip on a current YouTube video, almost on the wall.
Yeah, Mark Media off the road. That left Sanders there for 10th. Go on.
But in the terms of the community prestige for getting into an Indy 500 and winning an Indy 500, Classic IndyCar Series has one of those Indy 500s for sure. Velocity Online Racing, which is also on your channel, Nolan, they have a pretty good reputation for their Indianapolis 500, and that's often highly sought after by all their participants. Of course, the Elite Racing League, which I do their races over on the Elite Racing Network, as Shtumy going wide there, leading the leaders, or at least this pack of leaders go on by. But that's one of the more prestigious Indy 500s as well. And they just had theirs. They have 2 a year, one in May and one October. And then, of course, on top of that, you have the kind of the crown jewel Indy 500 races, which are in May, as Robert now starting to pull away from VGL. But those are the fixed and open top split Indy 500s that are official, that iRacing does. And then there's kind of one more race in there, and that's the former Open Wheels 500, and now it's the PRI Hoosier 500, and that will be in May. But those are the kind of the big community 500s. Oh, Roberts! Oh! Get in there hot. Don't want to drop those wheels too much. So, yeah, this is a very prestigious 500 to win and to be a part of. And if you can make the fastest 33, that in itself is a battle. And then, if you can get a chance to win the race like Adam Blocker did a year ago, and some other drivers throughout the league history have got a chance to win that race, that's one that you circle on the calendar, and then when you tell people on your iRacing resume that you won the Classic IndyCar Series Indy 500, they know that actually means something. This is not a run-of-the-mill, IndyCar league, or, that started up whatever 3 or 4 days ago. Classic IndyCar Series has earned that reputation to have a prestigious 500. So I'm very much looking forward to that coming up. That's going to be one to definitely watch out for before this year is up.
And before we get to that, there is obviously more action pretty much every single day here on Green Flag TV. And, we got another race this afternoon, Classic IndyCar action. Not the only series we got on Sunday. The Blaze Battles ARCA Series takes to the National Super Speedway tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then on Monday, the High Tide Racing League Premier Series kicks off season number 5 as Jaden Hopp tries to kick off his title defense on a high. Justin Prince and I in the booth on Monday nights, bringing you one of the flagship Monday night series on iRacing. The Mid-Atlantic Racing Series gets set to conquer the Magic Mile. That'll be on Tuesday alongside the Ole Miss Road Gold Series at Kansas. Another doubleheader on Wednesday. The Premier Sim Racing Outlap Motorsports Truck Series is out at the Phoenix Racer for what I believe is their season finale, or the second last race of the season. And then, of course, the Beer League with race number 3 that same afternoon will determine what track they are racing at the day of. And then the Highline Diecast Collectible Speed Cup Series. The only 2 races to go in competition for the Thursday night season here in 2025. They will be having their penultimate race at Phoenix at Thursday night at 9:15 p.m. in Avondale, Arizona. All this and plenty more coming up on Green Flag TV, and it's going to be another busy month all throughout November as well. Not going to want to miss a second of it, as we are getting set to have a good one here this afternoon. By the way, Gary, some information on why Sanders' pit stop was so long. His sim started to fall apart, so he had to put some pieces back on it, it sounds like. Oh. That'll do it.
So it kind of in the same frame of mind as Team Penske with the seatbelt situation that Newgarden and Will Power had a couple seasons ago. Yeah, mechanicals do happen, and you got to get back in there and slap those parts back on.
Probably had to just tighten a clamp or 2 down on the wheel if I had to guess. Cameron Dan's having a moment just a second ago here, coming out onto the Ullman Straight as he dips to his into the grass and fishtails around he goes, keeps it off the wall. No harm, no foul, though that has dropped in now over 10 seconds back from Marshall Stanley. Coming up to halfway home here this afternoon, and the fight's continuing on. Lucas Santos now pressuring the back end of Andrea Giacometti, ready to attack the North Sim Racing contender.
Drafted down the straight. He's going to take a peek here. See if he takes a peek to the inside. Yeah, he's going to present the nose just a little bit. He's going to send it right at the last second. And I think Giacometti might have decided to concede and let him go.
Probably, if I had to guess. And I mean, hey, not a bad
Nothing wrong
move.
with that.
Yeah,
no, nothing wrong.
It's risk management.
Right, exactly. And just because, like, the most common phrase or most common school of thinking when you watch these races, like, oh my gosh, he must have had a problem. He's letting him go. Oh my gosh, it's possible he just has his own pace, that he's trying to hit his own number. He came into this race with a strategy. He's going to stick to it. You don't have to be the fastest car to win a race. I mean, we've seen that happen numerous times where, if you just get your car in a position to have a good finish, you sometimes can win a race. So, coming off of the corner, coming down the straight is Marcamini under acceleration. Careful as he tried to right his car. Watch this rejoin.
Heads up! Andrew Aiken ducks around him, and they're able to gather it up more or less unharmed. But if I can, I want to address him as well. I know why. I mean, look at the pace differential between the two, right? I mean, Santos, the lap before overtaking Giacometti, he closed in 9/10 at 1.3 seconds on Giacometti. So he knew right away when he got to him, yeah, this guy is definitely faster. I'll just let him through at a point that's convenient for him because he's getting by you no matter what. You may as well not try to fight it out too.
Right, exactly. It's the old phrase, discretion and valor, better part. So, he decided that the discretion was the call of the day there.
Now the fight here going to look to draw to a close as Andrew Wood still trying to fend back Robert Grosser. Deeper in the field, this one for 4th and 5th, sitting at around 9/10 of a second.
We're past the halfway point. And about, I would say about 14, 15 laps or so to the next for sure pit stop. So the next for sure pit stop will be 66, 68, somewhere in there. And that should get everybody home then.
So at this point in time, we are halfway home from the Classic IndyCar Series here at the Sebring International Raceway. We're going to take ourselves with a quick step back. When we return, racing action continues on Green Flag TV. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flight TV, where racing action continues on to the Sebring International Raceway. My name is Oliver Rempel alongside Gary Godso, and you're watching Green Flight TV as we are past the halfway point here this afternoon. The fight between Andrew Wood and Robert Groscher was closing. That has since broken off now as a result of this spin for Matthias Marcomini right in front of those two contenders.
8 cars left on the lead lap.
Spearing off the road there a little bit there for Marcomini, and then just reversed it right back onto the circuit in a very dangerous manner, frankly, right in front of two contenders. That might catch the eye of the stewards post-race. And then Lucas Santos, purple lap of the race once again, and unfortunately on the very next lap, he has this big moment coming down towards Le Mans, which I hate to say it again, we were talking about right, a bit of an MO, unfortunately, for Lucas, right? He starts to have a good run, starts to get things together, and then just pushes a little bit too hard.
Right behind Marcomini, that is Johnny Garrett. Had a little bit of a off there, but he's back on.
Cameron Dance with the black flag. Has he been hit by the incident limits?
Has to be, because he hasn't come to pit road. So this is a drive-through penalty that he needs to answer in 5 laps. However, well, he can't stop on pit road, so he's kind of he's in a bad spot now where he has to go through the drive-through and then come back down pit road again for his scheduled stop.
Oh, there was the incident for Johnny Garrett. So we'll cut back to live pictures. Cameron Dance is still out there and, well, hasn't come down pit road yet.
I'm not sure exactly when he got the black flag, but he is he got black flagged at 57, so he's answered by 62. And yeah, here he comes. But the thing is, you know, he's also at the end of his window, so he needs to cut the pit road anyways.
And Andrew Woods had a problem. Sorry, Andrew.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, Andrew Wood has had a big snap coming through the sunset bend, and that's allowed Robert Groscher through onto a podium, and it puts him under fire now for with VJO. You heard the tires squeal. We're watching Cameron Dance come down the pit road, and it was the bumps that caught him.
Oh,
good save though.
Yeah, and an excellent save. And then going back to Santos's save, he was lucky on his little save there that he had a lot of tarmac that he could spin into, because if he would have hit the grass, he'd still be sliding right now.
Well, and unfortunately, he's had another one. Right, oh, there's Le Mans, and around he goes. Oh, that time he's going to find the wall. Ay, ay, ay. Well, the field continuing to fight this one out as Andrew Wood and VJO will go at it. 0.3 of a second between the two, and the fight for fourth is on.
You know, most, you know, we have these road races before, or I forget how, I have to go back and look at the calendar how many we had, but Ethan Hagen has been pretty much in the top 3 for every road race we've had. But if you go back and see how much TV time he gets in those races, it's virtually nothing. And today he's the leader, and he's dominated today's race. He dominated. He's leading from the pole and everything. But he's so far out in front and been so dominant that the battles in the mid-pack have been more compelling. That poor guy can't win while winning. He's not getting any TV time because these battles in the mid-pack are so exciting, and he's dominating so much up at the front. And that's the same case as some of these other races with Thomas. Thomas would be so far up front, and Ethan would kind of be up there, kind of filling that middle gap between Thomas and the rest of the field, and we don't really pay attention to him then either. So poor guy just can't win for winning right now.
0.4 of a second between the two as Andrew Wood and VJO will continue to keep up pressure here. 0.6 of a second between the two. Under 40 laps to go now. And I tell you what, I mean, Andrew Wood has not been able to break away from VJO as much as I thought he was. That said, he is running down Robert Groscher, so I think Andrew Wood's just kind of pulling VJO along.
Yeah, VJO might see that too, and he's like, I'll just tack on here. Got 2 pretty long straights again, where the draft train can help you.
The gap was over 2 seconds at the start of the lap. Now it's down to just 1.2 as we enter the Sunset Bend. So Robert Groscher, I think, backing off the pace just a little bit. We are also, by the way, only, remember, 2 laps away from being at the point where you can go the distance on field to the end of the race. So we are rapidly closing in on the final pit stop window. Wide goes Andrew Wood there, right in the crossover section, as caught some bumps on the way in, and that sent him wide.
Just sticking right with him. He gets up to the attenuator. He's just biding time, and we still have a long ways to go. First of all, we have another pit stop still, and then we have a whole other stint. After BJO purple lap.
I mean, he's using that draft as advantage, right? And I can guarantee you a lot of that fast lap came from the slipstream that he's got on the back of Andrew Wood coming down the straightaways. You've also got Santos still fighting that with Andrew Aiken here, who is running back in. Aitken trying to see if he's got a run here, but for the time being, not quite.
Ooh, gosh, VJO about got that temporary turn 8 and 9 wall there through Sunset. Got really close.
And you're right on board with him now as he drives into turn 2. And again, Andrew Wood locks up and goes into the grass, and that costs him yet more time. But the advantage for Wood on that deal there is that VJO is not realistically able to capitalize on the move, as he's still got Robert Groscher fighting for third just in front of all of this. As the pit window has officially opened up, you can now pit here and go to the end. So who do we think might come down early? I know Cameron Dance was in just 6 laps ago, but that was obviously for a drive-through, so he didn't take service.
I could see maybe someone in this group deciding to come to pit road real early to try to do a jump, try to jump somebody.
Well, you're correct. Andrew Aitken just came down pit road trying to get an advantage up on Santos.
Yeah, that might as well. The window's open. Just get it over with. So this is Aitken's final road course pit stop. Cameron Dan's a 55.5. Ethan putting Jamie Wilson a lap down. You don't see that happen very often. Nothing against Jamie in there.
Hold on! Andrew Wood, a vicious tank slapper out of Le Mans, and here comes VJO to get around him, but that got dicey there with Andrew Wood.
Nice catch. Really nice catch. That could have gone to the inside wall very easily.
Take right on board.
Watch this death twitch right here as he comes off the corner. Lets the throttle breathe. Gonna pick it back up. Right here.
You saw Wood just in front of him make that big step out. Ugh, that is ugly.
And then VJO around Ward on the main straight. Wood back to the inside.
Oh, now VJO has lost it. VJO's going to spin it out at the exit of Bishop, and that spells an end to the fight for third. Johnny Garrett gets around VJO as well. And boy, it is all kicked off here.
And something happened to Robert Grosser. I think he had a drop.
Which now would make this, well, still a fight for third, but now Wood's into third.
I think Robert is a DC.
Tough break. Was on for a good night, and, well, connection issue is going to bite him big. Lucas Santos down pit road. Matthias Marcamini gets around him. The big question for Santos right now is, of course, going to be where is Andrew Aitken? The answer to that, Aitken is coming down the Oldman Straight.
Plenty of time. Aitken now coming onto the straight, yeah, and Lucas is off of pit road.
Oh, it's going to be close, though. Nope, never mind. Aitken, wow, Aitken lost a lot of time there. Santos was a second quicker than him in the box.
Right, roll the dice. You got nothing to lose at this point.
Jamie Wilson right now down pit road for his final stop of the day, 10.5 seconds. There goes Johnny Garrett VJO, blasting by on the front straightaway. Boy, what a fight that we're having here this afternoon. A lot of dramas, especially in the last 10, 15 laps or so here. And still 32 to go as well. Oh, and around VGO goes again, and that time he's going to find the tires. And I think that might be day over for him. Oh, he's going to get the car up there. No,
he's going to tow.
Yeah.
He's boom.
Thought for a moment he might stay out there, but nope. Well, that effectively eliminates the final fight that we had out there on the racetrack. Ethan Hagen still 2.7 seconds clear of Marshall Standen, but both those drivers have not yet come down pit road. Oh, and hold on as Hagen swung a bit too far wide there and actually nearly got into the tires.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes these drivers forget what version. Nah, I shouldn't say that. I could probably see it easily happening, that they could forget what version of Sebring they're on, because a lot of these same drivers do compete in the 12 hours Sebring, the official iRacing event. They've probably done minimum hundreds of laps around this place. And when you get to Sunset Bend, normally, and you've probably done, I don't know if you've done some 24-hour or 12-hour events here or some races here. you know that Sunset Bend is pretty much flat out if in a prototype car when you're on the full Sebring course. And I think sometimes they get fooled into that false sense of security because they're going, oh, okay, I know this in my mind. And then all of a sudden on exit, here comes that row of tire barriers that normally isn't there. And it comes up and surprises me.
Yeah, it'll get you. I mean, I've driven the modified layout a couple of times, right? And every time, you know, the first time I went through here, I fully chucked the car into the usual Sunset Bend and then wondered, well, why the heck is the track still going? I mean, it's got to be such a, you got to really train the mind to not brake at the point where you instinctually want to brake for that corner. You just got to power through and go deeper and deeper into what would normally be an escape road. We're finally jamming on the brakes for a much slower hairpin.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. The Steve Miller Band song "Abracadabra," right? It's going to reach out and grab you. Well, that's that turn 8 and 9 wall here at Sunset Bend on this modified circuit. It will reach out and grab you.
Marshall Stanley wants to try for an undercut strategy. He comes down pit road. So we'll see Stanley in. He was 2.7 seconds behind Ethan Hagan. The gap was kind of fluctuating, but there were a few points where he did bring it down. Do you think Marshall Stanley can get around Ethan Hagan? Because, I mean, the gap's not what it once was earlier in the race.
He needs about a 3-second plus jump. So what he needs to hope here for is right now in front of Ethan is lap traffic. That is Robert. Robert is back after rejoining. He's now 4 laps down in the order. But yeah, that's a good call by Ethan. Just come to pit road and answer the call, answer the challenge right away. And so what he'll do is he'll come down the pit road, and I don't think Marshall is going to jump him here unless Ethan misses his mark. So this is a pretty critical last stop for Ethan. Can't do any last stop mistakes. He does slide into the box. He does hit the mark square on, up on the jacks. Now he's down, waiting for those last couple of drops of fuel to get through this last 25 laps, and he's down and away. And, Johnny Garrett does get him.
Johnny Garrett gets around, but Garrett, remember, has not yet come down pit road.
Yeah, but he does. So I thought he already stopped. So I'm going to take back my enthusiasm.
But Marshall Stanley has reeled in a second.
Yeah, Marshall Stanley is there. He's 1.8, so he cut it in half. But I didn't think he would be able to get the 3+. Sorry, Johnny Garrett. I was confusing Garrett with Stanley there for a second. But Garrett still needs to stop. He's 36 laps into his stint. Wood's 36 laps into his stint. So disregard my enthusiasm. Just trying to build up drama where there isn't any right now.
And Matthias Ziegler, Marcomini having a spin. This is what happened to him just a few seconds ago.
And the black flag.
Yes, and that will be for the incident limit as well, unfortunately. Just lost it on the way in, and car never really settled in. The second he stamped on the loud pedal, that car went around.
And he's answering his drive-through right now.
So there is Andrew Wood in the box. Meanwhile, Johnny Garrett comes down as well. There goes Marshall Stanley around the boat. Oh, actually, sorry, Marshall Stanley right in the midst of this fight here. He's now down to 1.6. That gap continuing to close in.
Yes, it is. 1.5, and he's using a little bit of VJO's draft to help slingshot down these straights, and now 1.4 coming into Sunset, and he is in direct contact. Marshall is now with Ethan, our leader.
Oh, but this is going to be a great fight between these two if they can get close together, right? Marshall Stanley taking his first ever Classic IndyCar Series win earlier this season at Richmond after, what, 75 starts? Could we get a second one in the same season?
That's where everyone says that the first win's always the hardest, and some after a while they'll argue the second win is just as hard because you know, maybe you backed in or you lucked into that first win, and you need that second win to kind of stamp your approval that your skill set's good. And I don't think really Marshall needs to do that, but a second win in this season would make this a very career-worthy season for him. And to get that second win here on a road course and on an oval would kind of show his versatility in these cars.
He's just got to find a little bit more, right? Because he's not in striking distance yet with the draft. He's got to find something in the slowest corners. Once he gets the draft going, then you'll have a chance. But until that point, he is starting to slowly lose back with the dirty air. Johnny Garrett and Cameron Dance. 0.3 of a second separated them, and they're right behind Lucas Santos.
So that's Dance, Garrett, and then right in front of them, that is Lucas Santos, a lap car.
Well, Johnny Garrett going to keep up the pressure here. And Santos, hold on, look at Cameron Dance, a massive lunge to the inside, he looks up, and Johnny Garrett steps the back end out, and they almost come together at the center of the corner.
Now, when did Cameron Dance pick up the off-road tires?
Evidently on the last pit stop.
Normally, he would just slide off into the wall. I don't know how he kept it off the wall there and still managed to turn the wheel and make it around that through that connector. But check out this replay again.
Talk about a close call between the two. I mean, that is a lunge right there to the inside of Johnny Garrett, and the fact that they're able to hold that one together is nothing short of incredible.
And he does it again. Cameron gets around him basically with a very similar move going into sunset. But special delivery from down under. Here comes Johnny Garrett back to the inside again, going into one.
Contact! No! And they're both around and dance hard into the tire barriers, and absolute disaster. They came together once, they came together twice, and finally, Dance is going to be forced into pit road. All the while, Marshall Stanley has punched it past the dirty air.
Cameron needs a tow, yeah. He was in right in the middle of the connector road, and that's going to be Cameron Dance that day over. And let's not forget, let's go back up front again, because Ethan Hagan now, Stanley's only 0.6 behind. He's there. He's actually within the draft envelope of these cars coming down the straight. He's gonna suck closer here, down through this straightaway here.
This is the quick look with Cameron Dance on that incident. Oh my goodness, I mean, such a high speed spin, right? I mean, very lucky that that car didn't end up worse than it was. And one more time, this will be
Stanley's there.
That's 2 races in a row that Cameron Dance is going to be finishing this one out from the sidelines. A tough break. I'm sure he's frustrated with how the last few races have gone for him, right? It feels like every time that he's got a chance to make up some ground, it just falls apart. But like you say, battle's closing for the lead.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that the season has been bad for Cameron, but really, I mean, he came into the season as a defending series champion from a season ago, won the opener at Phillip Island, but it has been one downhill battle after another as this season. He for one might be just happy to get to Indianapolis and try to close out the season on the highest note possible and just forget 2025, the Classic IndyCar Series, entirely.
I mean, heck, it's like the Game 1 curse, right? In something like the World Series. You have a good outing in Game 1, well, your Game 2 is destined to just be a complete disaster. So, who knows? Next season.
As a Red Sox fan, I am very, very, very well versed on curses.
Oh, I am as well. I watched Game 2 of the Blue Jays last night, and let me say that was painful to watch in that 7th inning and beyond. I can't believe that went down the way it did. But Here we go.
Here's
Battle's
the battle
on.
for the lead.
Marshall Stanley going around the left-hand side, trying to go the long way around Ethan Hagen. Hagen's going to force this one on defense. Stanley with a big crossover corner exit, fighting for the top spot as they go around through the Sunset Bend, back to the front straightaway. But Ethan Hagen's not done fighting yet. He's going to be right there, making the look back to the left-hand side, side by side, coming back down into turn number 1, and Ethan Hagen is back through for the lead.
Good pass, and Marshall gave him a ton of room. Did not want to see what happened again. That kind of collected dance before with Garrett.
Boy, these guys are going at it, though, and the fight for the lead is officially on with 19 laps to go, more like 18 and a half now as they make their way down the Omen Straight. Marshall Stanley still within striking distance, a quarter of a second. That gap's closing. It's down to 2/10 now. Continues to close. He makes the look, left-hand side. Trying to go back around the outside. Again, he's going to break early. Again, he's going to try for the over-under. And identical to that before. Oh, he gets to the left rear quarter panel and nearly takes the tire off of Ethan Hagen. Bump drafting him now down the first straightaway. All the way to the left side wall. Down to the left now to turn number 1. Marshall Stanley trying to hold up with the lead. Ethan Hagen on the outside. Contact between the two. And Stanley forces the engine to get through.
Just almost what happened again with Dan's happened there
No,
again with
Stanley
these
loses
guys.
it.
Stanley
Stanley's
around the
around.
connector.
And Ethan Hagen takes it right back. Oh my goodness, it is dramas at Sebring, and the battle for the lead comes to a smoky end. And Hagen's effectively home free.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Take a ride on board here with Marshall Stanley. This is going to be through the fight, coming all the way down the Omen Straight and in towards turn number 1. Ethan
He backs the corner up a little bit. Yeah, so you see he backs the corner up a little bit, so get a better run off the corner.
This was
easy in, hard out.
Yeah, this was the fight before when he initially took the lead, and then Ethan Hagen with this big sweep over coming down through, and Marshall Stanley just picked up a black flag as well, by the way, so that effectively is going to be game over for him there. And then I think this was the lap after. Back this up just a little bit more here. Here we go. This will be the one. Watches. Oh, man, we're right there. He nearly shreds the left rear tire. And then he's going to pull off an extremely bold move to the inside, and they came together a little bit in net code, send Hagen wide.
Yeah.
And you think the fight's over, but then clip 2 wheels into the grass, and around he went.
Yep, and that will do it.
Holy cow. And Marshall Stanley now being forced into pit road to serve a black flag as well, and
yeah, that's going to put Wood, probably move Wood up a spot here, and he does. He passes him.
Could move Johnny Garrett up into the third place spot as well. It's going to do that as well. Oh my goodness. Well, talk about a bad break for Marshall Stanley. Still in the race car, but I'd imagine seething behind that helmet. That's a long hold as well. That might be a whole lap stopping hold, because I think, is that the second time he's been hit with a black flag for incident points?
Stanley, for this season, I think he's had it happen before at another one of our races.
Oh, the black flag never got cleared. He still has one.
What? Oh, Jamie Wilson. Almost.
Oh, my goodness. I can't hardly keep up with this, Gary. I mean, there's... But yeah, Marshall Stanley never got the black flag cleared. Oh, it's because he had a meatball flag as well. So that trip to pit road was just to clear the meatball flag that he had. And now he's got a black flag on top of that. So he does have a drive-through penalty, but remember, because he's got a meatball flag as well, Gary, he had to come down to serve the penalty for the meatball flag, and you can't take service on a drive-through.
They should account that as a drive-through. It's already a penalty with the meatball.
Oh, but that's the rule, though. You're not allowed to take service on a black flag, because otherwise, what's the stop sign from just using that to take 4 tires of fuel and jump the guys on an undercut strategy? That would completely nullify it. It's a case where it sucks in this situation, but it makes sense why it is that way. What gave him surely that spin didn't give him a meatball flag. Surely not.
A little bit of, so it feels like he got hit with a little double jeopardy there, but...
Take a look here. This is... Oh, he had to snap into the wall!
That'll do it.
Yeah.
As they used to say on Mythbusters, there's your problem.
So... oh my goodness, I mean, talk about a bad break. I mean, fought for the lead, contacted Ethan Hagen for the lead, spun himself out and lost the lead, spun again to hit the wall, got a meatball flag, and that same meatball flag is what gave him the incident point penalty. I mean, that's what, 5 or 6 strikes in a row right there.
Yeah.
I mean, IRC really did say, nah, we're going to end your hopes of finishing this race on the lead lap, let alone winning. He was up in the lead 2 laps ago, and now he's a lap down.
Yeah.
Oh, I would be fuming if I was Marshall. I mean, Johnny Garrett has spun, and he's now got a black flag, so that could let Jamie Wilson now onto a podium.
And Johnny Garrett, black flag, you're right. Just one more after another.
Well, it's easy to get off tracks, especially at the crossover point there, right? So we're seeing a whole host of them here.
And we just saw Jamie Wilson dodge a bullet. And now he's looking to maybe pick up another position on Johnny Garrett when he has to come to pit road. Not quite sure. I think Garrett might have a big enough lead where he could do this drive-through and still come out. Here he comes. He might still come out with the position. Johnny Garrett now, or excuse me, Jamie Wilson is now down the backstretch.
There's the intervals, and you can see Jamie Wilson closing, right? 15 seconds down to 14, 13, 12. He's closing fast. Looking for Jamie Wilson coming off the Sunset. There he is. Second car line on the right-hand side. Here comes Johnny Garrett, and he's going to get out with 4 seconds to spare.
But Jamie's going to have a head full of steam.
Still, by the time of this braking zone, the gap only comes down to 2.
And Johnny and Jamie, but in front of Johnny is lap traffic.
Holy cow, what a day, what an afternoon, right?
It's just, this last quarter of the race, last third of the race has been head on a swivel. Where do I look next? Normally we haven't had that in road course races this season.
Especially this
late. But we're getting it today. Yeah.
Hey, normally we're talking about what we're going to eat for dinner tonight by now.
So, Gary, what's going on in IndyCar news? Well, Michael Schumacher's kid had a test with Ray Letterman.
Speaking of IndyCar news, you mentioned IndyCar. Obviously they use this place as a testing venue. Why did they never come to Sebring in the real world? Because, I mean, you'd think it'd be a prime track for them.
Well, now I think it's because St. Pete is nearby. And it might have been some safety issues that they had. Probably the reason why they used that upper course rather than the lower course, because the upper course is more modeled after a permanent road course. There's a lot of runoff area there on the upper course versus the lower course. So that's probably what I'm thinking is the best thing, is that just maybe the safety was not there to do the full course.
Fair. I mean, we are literally racing on an abandoned runway right now.
Yes. Yes.
You can see the taxiway on the left-hand side there in pit road. But under 10 laps to go. The race actually continues to fight this one out. Let's ride aboard Jimmy Wilson for a few laps. We'll see if we can close in as we feel the noise on Green Flag TV. Stay with us. Fight's closing in between Johnny Garrett and Jamie Wilson. Lucas Santos, you saw him take the purple lap of the race. And, well, for about the third or fourth time today, as soon as he takes that purple lap, he spins himself off the racetrack. And here's another problem for him in turn 2. Just cannot catch a break for this number 19.
It's like, sorry, Lucas. How many holes can you shoot into your foot? Fast lap, bang, fast lap, bang, fast lap, bang. Oh, well. He's going to go back and look at that, just chalk it up as a learning experience. But Johnny Garrett and Jamie Wilson are now seemingly in the same tire tracks and as one car and visually down the straightaway. Here's Jamie to the inside.
And he is through. Johnny Garrett not going to fight that one too hard. Lets Jamie Wilson fight through into the third place spot. So the Catalyst up now 12 spots. By far the hard charger of the day, coming in with just 4 laps to go. Right behind that, Franz Joseph Stu the tires. Marcovini also fighting it out here, coming down to turn number 1. Marcovini to the inside, and he's clear on Stu. Gary, the fight's continuing on here with coming up to 3 laps to go. In just a little while, only 2 cars remain on the lead lap after the cars that we saw early in the race. But man, what a fight these guys have been putting on all day today.
Hey, Team Chimera has got to be pretty happy. This is going to be 2-3 on the podium for them.
A double podium, always a good sign to see for the team. Shows that progress is going well. Meanwhile, still got that fight for third. It might not be a team podium, 2-3 podium, by the way, because Johnny Garrett's still within striking distance. Right, he's down to still about 0.6 of a second, and that gap still showing signs that the fight could pick up here in the final 3 laps if Johnny Garrett can keep the pace up.
As he takes the white flag this next time by for Ethan. This is his 68th career start in the Classic Indycar Series. I'm not sure exactly when his last win is. Maybe you could dig that up, but this will be his 68th career start. Only 7 wins, so this will be win number 8 for him on the resume for the CIS. And let's see real quick where he might rank all time now with 7 wins. So with Ethan getting his 8th win, that will bring him tied with Cameron Dance for 5th all time. So this is a big move, victory for Ethan here at the completion of this lap.
Ethan Hagan, of course, taking several podiums all throughout the course of the season. His last race win, though, comes all the way from New Hampshire Motor Speedway back in August 17th, 2024, where he started on the pole and finished on the pole as well, although his last pole position was over at the Auto Club Speedway just 2 weeks ago. So he's going to seek to take the white flag this time by and look to take up his first win in over a year.
And there it is, getting the monkey off the back here. 1 more to go. Just hit your marks, take it nice and easy. Got a nice big lead, 23 seconds, no rush. Enjoy it. Number podium finishes already this season. It's just a matter of time he was going to get that win.
Ethan Hagan for the Team Watson Racing Setups driver. Of course, Team Watson Racing Setups set to be the team's championship at the end of the day, and with this race win, that should secure the deal for them. So Ethan Hagan able to be the flag bearer, not just for him, but also for GWRS. He's going to come into the final corner this time by, and Ethan Hagan, it's going to be win number 7 of his CIS career, win number 8 of his CIS career in his 68th start, and his first win since 2024. Coming to a Jim Wilson will hold on for third. Unbelievable drive here for the whole field this afternoon.
Excellent.
I mean, this was by far one of the most entertaining road races that we have had all season long since Phillip Island at the start of the season. And I mean, the dramas that we had all throughout.
Yeah, it worked out very well. So it would be interesting to see how this would have worked out if we had the field size of Phillip Island to start the season. But a nice number here for a course that's not too big, not too small, kind of in that Goldilocks zone right at 2 miles in length. And not awfully technical, but enough passing areas to make things interesting. Some long straightaways. And now Ethan gets that win number 8. It ties him with Cameron Dance. And only above him right now is Matt Cook, Thomas Mustanen, Lucas LaVille, and Josh Chin as people with more wins than him in Classic IndyCar Series history. So he is in rarefied air here in this series history.
Critically, he almost failed to win this race as well, right? He almost got taken out in the battle here with Marshall Stanton. This is on board with Hagan during that fight with about 17 laps to go, and watch as Stanley's going to clip off the side. I mean, talk about some cat-like reflexes. That is single-handedly the only thing that kept him in this race and able to take the win over Marshall Stanley here this afternoon. So an unbelievable drive for Ethan Hagen here this afternoon, and we'll get the chance now to take a rundown of your official post-race results here this afternoon. It was a wild ride that we saw all throughout the afternoon, and we will look to get a chance to break down who finishes where at the end of this one. It's going to be Ethan Hagen coming home number 1 ahead of Andrew Wood, the only car to finish on the lead lap. Jamie Wilson comes home 3rd, 1 lap down. Johnny Garrett 4th. Andrea Giacometti in 5th. Santos with a nice recovery driving through all the struggles he had today. He still manages to finish home 6th place, although with all those spins, you have to wonder how much further up could he have been, right? Could very well have been a podium for Santos this afternoon. Santa comes home 7th place after fighting for the lead and coming to a close in a smoky end. Ed Drake finishes 8th. Marcamini in 9th, and Stum rounds out the top 10.
And the remainder of the lineup, we got VJO in 11th, Robert in 12th, Cameron Dance 13th, Jan Hoffman 14th, Logan Simmons 15th, Rob Markenau in 16th, Kinder in 17th, Wareham and Mellis, I don't think took a start here, but one thing or another for this group of drivers right here in this bottom portion of the field just had an issue or one thing or another today, just kind of made it a little bit rough with them. They are very much looking forward to seeing Sebring in the rearview mirror and going to Indianapolis now, getting back on the big oval.
Well, we'll take a rundown and give a chit-chat here to the drivers that come home 1, 2, and 3. And we'll start this one off first and foremost with Ethan Hagen coming home. And Ethan, your first win since New Hampshire all the way back in 2024, 14 months. And finally, this machine is back to victory lane. But it almost was not meant to be. What a wild fight you have with Marshall Stanley. Talk us through the contact and how you're able to keep that car underneath you and bring it to victory lane.
Finally, it's the first part. I mean, it's been a while, but I mean, I feel bad for Marshall though. I mean, he was definitely faster the last part of that race, and it was really good race between him and I. Just really hated that. I don't know what happened to him. I guess he got damaged or something, but yeah, I mean, just a really good race. Just glad to finally get another win here.
Overall, it's not just a driver's win, right, that makes this a big day, but you're also the first driver of TWRs across the line and helping to secure the team's championship for Team Watson Racing setups here this season as well. So for the team as a whole, how big does it feel to know that you've now locked out the team's championship as well?
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, to get the team's championship and even a bigger step for getting the win as well, which makes it even more better. But I mean, one I cannot do without the guys. They always give really good setups, not just the road courses but ovals as well. And I just know that we'll be a big contender for the 500 in a couple weeks, and really looking forward to it.
Overall, the second place finish with you here tonight with Cameron Dance finishing further down the field means you're going to walk out of here with a lot of points as well, and might even be secure now just about with one race to go for the second place of the Drivers' Championship as well. So let's talk Indy 500. What's going to be the game plan? Because the month of November is only 2 weeks away, and it starts off with pole day.
Yeah, I mean, one of the goals is obviously get to the Fast 9 and then try to go for pole, but it's not going to be easy with Henry and the other guys. Like, they're always contenders for pole. But for the race day, I mean, I've won that race back in 22. Hopefully get a second win there. That'll be really sweet. And it's just all about survival for this race and have a good car that sticks to the end, and hopefully we'll get that checker flag.
Sounds like a solid plan. We wish you the best of luck. We go racing once again. Ethan, congratulations on taking home number 1, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on pole day.
Thank you, and hope I get better at burnouts.
Ethan Hagen comes home number 1 this afternoon after tearing up the rear of his car by slamming it into a wall and then attempted burnout. We'll move on down to Andrew Wood, the driver that comes home number 2. Gary, you're standing by with our runner-up.
Andrew, another race, another podium, man. I know you want to eventually get another win here, but a bit of a different course that you don't run an awful lot here, and in a car that we don't run an awful lot as well. It's kind of an odd combination, but first of all, what did you think of it out there, and then talk about the rest of your race?
Yeah, it was definitely a little dicey. You could definitely tell at the start of the race that our setup was just not a race-winning setup. We were very, very slow through I don't know what corner that is, 3, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, those double right-handers there. Every car that was trailing me would just suck up like a half second, like be a half second faster than us there. So it was more a focus of not hitting the bump on the inside, but also not touching the grass on the outside, because it looked like people got some off tracks there and wound up getting themselves a penalty. So the focus was just to keep off the grass there. I made quite a few mistakes. Sun glare at the back part of the track was very, very bad at some part of the race, so I couldn't see the inside apex. Actually, it's the corner that you see on the screen there. That's actually a really good one I did there. But yeah, it was a tough race for sure. Very unexpected finish. After I had my 2 early spins, I thought for sure that I was just gonna be just making up whatever I could, but it wound up really just playing in my favor. Patience paid off here, and I was faster than Ethan at the end of the race, but he had just gotten such a gap on me, and I had made too many mistakes to really close in on him. So this is definitely a great team finish. Jamie, when you talk to him, he'll be just as baffled as as I am at the finish. So that'll be exciting to hear what he has to say. But it was a great day, great team finish, and it was a lot of fun. I sweat more than I thought I did. I ended the race, I'm like, wow, that was actually a lot more focused than I thought I really needed in this race.
Well, you know how this goes, and we think you're going to get a win here, and you do have that the Lionheart win from Indianapolis before, and I know you just recently competed in the Elite Racing League's Indy 500, so Indy's coming up next here, so I know you got some laps there and some experience that might help you pay off with a big win to finish the season in Indianapolis. But another podium finish today to celebrate, and also a good day for your team in general, coming in the second and third step. So any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone want to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to all Power Slide, Team Chimera, everyone that might be watching. Thanks for supporting us, and you guys in the booth, and everyone who puts this league on. And thanks for everyone that came out today. I had a really good battle with quite a few people today, and I want to shout out VJO as well. He showed a lot of pace today, and he was keeping me really honest in the middle part of the race there. Probably one of his best races too. So unfortunately, it didn't turn out very well for him, but I do want to shout him out too, because that's a great improvement for him.
Well, congratulations to Andrew Wood, second on the racetrack, now third in the points.
Andrew Wood comes home number 2 this afternoon. We'll move on down to Jamie Wilson, the final driver on the podium and the back portion of the Team Chimera double podium here this afternoon. Jamie, a stellar afternoon for you as well, up 12 positions, the hard charger of the day. Talk us through your afternoon and how you find yourself on the podium.
Well, I'm surprised. That's the main thing. I was just kind of vibing for a lot of that. Pretty much nowhere really on pace. I think I got a bit flattered by dramas of others. But, you've got to be in it to win it, as they say. So just keeping out of trouble, no real instance to speak of. And then I just had a bit of a fortunate situation with Johnny at the end there. And just about managed to get into his draft, which then enabled me to pull up to him. So, yeah, I feel very fortunate to get a lottery ticket after this, I think.
Well, overall, I mean, for the team, it's been an absolutely stellar afternoon, and you're going to be able to make a big effort here on Iconic Motorsports in the Teams Championship with you guys getting a double podium and Iconic only having one car out here this afternoon. With the Indy 500 just around the corner, do you and the rest of Power Slide Team Chimera feel confident you can steal second away in the Teams Championship?
I mean, that is one of the targets because, we've won the teams twice in recent years, so getting a hat trick on that would be great. In terms of, well, maybe we won't get the outright, but to do as best as possible basically is kind of the MO. And with Wood and I sort of trying to be a bit consistent, we're doing all the races that we can and so on. That's not true necessarily of all of the other teams and all of their drivers. So we need to make as much advantage of it as we can, really. As for Indy, not sure where we'll stand there. We had a bit of a rough year last year, or I did anyway, and the setup didn't really go quite to plan. So hopefully we'll be able to turn that around for this time around.
It's been a bit of a checkered history with you in the Indy 500. Obviously, this is going to be your 6th attempt at it. You crashed out early last year, 27th the year before that. Your best finish comes from 2022, all the way back in 7th place, though. Although, hey, fighting your way up from 30th, not a bad result at all things considered. But I mean, a lot can happen at the Indy 500. Obviously, it all starts with pole day. What aspirations do you have for the 500, and where do you think you're going to see yourself in about a month here?
Honestly, no idea. It's a bit of a lottery for us, really. I mean, we've had the odd good year, and even some of those years where I didn't necessarily get a great result. There was, I think it might have been that year you mentioned that I was running up the front for a chunk of it, which was quite novel for me, quite a good experience. I think it was Vortex on that occasion just had the edge on us over the long run, if memory serves. But that's the kind of stuff where we're perhaps a little weaker, is just having the right setup for the right weather conditions as the race goes on and that kind of thing. So it's gonna depend on that. I think we might be better off in one weather condition rather than another, and until the session launches, we're not going to know what it is. So, but I'm certainly looking forward to qualifying. I'd love the qualifying format in this, because it's like kind of super pole type things in other race series, and it's the pressure you have when you do a lap is immense, and it's good stress. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, overall, the racing action is set to kick off once again in just a little while. Congratulations on taking home third place and a double podium for the team this afternoon, and we'll see you at pole day in 2 weeks.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Jimmy Wilson comes home number 3 this afternoon. And Gary, that's going to be it then for our racing action this afternoon. An extremely wild way to close out. I guess we call this regular season of action, right? The month of November, just around the corner. 2 qualifying days and the final points race of the season for the 7th or 8th running of the butt kicker Indianapolis 500. Overall, stellar race that we had this afternoon. Lots of drama, lots of battles up and down the field, and I'm hyped to see how pole day is going to shake up.
Pole day, looking ahead, just look ahead. I mean, and I think you talked about this is really the conclusion of the regular season, right? Because nothing really matters at Indianapolis. It's all about the win at Indianapolis. I know Tony George wanted, when he formed the Indy Racing League back in the day, he wanted Indianapolis to be the last race on the calendar and make Indianapolis, kind of mean something a little bit more special. And it just didn't really work out that way. But even in real IndyCar racing, you have your points leader kind of before the Indy 500, and then after that, then everyone kind of focuses in on the points. So now, really, with the championship clinched, and really we're just battling out for key positions in the top 10, everyone's going to focus in on getting that pole and having a good 500. And it is, as Jamie kind of hinted at, it is the toughest 10 miles in all of racing, whether it's sim racing or real racing. It's the toughest 10 miles to qualify for the Indianapolis 500, whether it be virtual or real. Some of the most pressure-packed laps that you can make or happen when you're putting everything kind of on the line. Think of Nolan Siegel, right? When he tried to qualify for his very first Indy 500, he knew he didn't have enough speed, but he sent it anyways and ended up wrecking. And I think a lot of people, he went up a couple notches in a lot of people's books, just showing the size of his testicular fortitude there to what Indy really means to him. So now we're going to find out what Indy means to people coming up. But we're done with the regular season. The points championship wise, it's Thomas still has the lead. He's clinched. He's got 70 points over Ethan. Ethan, 34 points over Andrew. Andrew, 21 points over Cameron. Cameron, 38 points over Jamie. Logan Simmons, only 11 over Jamie. Seb Kinder, 9 behind Logan. Johnny Garrett, 4 behind Kinder. So the bottom portion of the top 10, a lot of those positions are within 10 points. A margin of to pass somebody is within 10 points. So a finishing just ahead of somebody at the Indianapolis 500 by a couple positions might get you enough to jump a couple spots in the final standings in the top 10. So just getting to the point of everything here is just, Indy's next. No one really cares about points now anymore. It's all about the win. Everyone knows how important it means. And, as Al Jr. said, you don't know what Indy means. Well, we're going to find out what Indy means here for a lot of these drivers here in a couple weeks.
And before we get to that, there's still more action still to come here on Green Flag TV as well. Coming on up over the next few days, of course, tonight it's going to be the Blaze Metals ARCA Series out at the National Super Speedway. High Tide Racing League action out at Daytona this coming Monday night. And then, of course, More action for the Mid-Atlantic Race Series. They are going to be at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway alongside Omaha, Kansas. Beer League is back for more Wednesday alongside the Premier Sim Racing Outlap Motorsports Truck Series at Phoenix. A doubleheader with PSR and Speed in Avondale. Zero Door Race League's back for more in a week as they are off for Halloween. And then November 1st will take us to the first race of the SRA Super Speedway Blitz once again at Daytona. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. The month of November is just around the corner. 2 days of qualifying, pole day, bump day. That will set a 33-car grid, and then 500 miles, 200 laps around one of motorsport's most hallowed pieces of ground. It's going to be Gasoline Alley roaring to life on November 7th when we return for the Classic Indycar Series. My name is Will Ramble alongside Gary Gotso. We'll see you all when we go racing in Indiana.